so. You don't care.
Heading out just north of LA, up the Angeles Crest Highway, are some of the most spectacular views I think I've seen this side of the West Coast. Now, to head out and get the opportunity to work up a sweat, but at the same time practice my photography, is just an absolute win for me. These views and these old school cameras combined, yeah, CCD sensors, I know, thing of the past. But let me tell you, this little pocket rocket, this G9, on a day like today, with the light like it is, and yeah, it's a old camera, you know, probably half my age at this point, but hey, let's get out, let's stretch those legs, and let's practice our photography. And that's all I'm aiming to do. This is not professional. This is not something that's going in a magazine or in a photo album. It's just me trying to be creative, kind of, and most definitely working up a sweat. I love this place, and I love these views. It is very early in the morning, the crack of dawn, as they say, and I need to work out. We need to work out. So I'm going to go and do just that. But whilst I'm there, I am taking a little cheeky Canon G9, and all will be revealed as to why, but I'm just taking this opportunity to get up the hill, get up the mountain, Angela's Crest, as it were, and all of that beautiful national park, stretch these legs out, work out this dad bod, and at the same time, I'm going to use a CCD camera to hopefully capture some of this beautiful landscape. I mean, why not? Why not? Let's go. Yeah. Now, the point of this trip up the mountain is not to take pictures. It isn't to make images. It is to work out. But that having been said, if you're going to work out in a location that is absolutely breathtakingly beautiful, it would be remiss of you to not take a camera with. Therefore, I am taking a beautiful CCD 10-year-old camera, 15-year-old camera. Look, the G9 is not the best choice for this trip. It isn't. It's a little slower than modern cameras. It is not a Ricoh GR. It is not a new Sony CyberShot craziness, but it is pocketable. It has a CCD sensor. It was pretty inexpensive. I picked it up on eBay for I want to say like 30 bucks. But that having been said, I'm still going to treat it with the respect that it deserves as a classic Canon powerhouse. Look, the G range is wonderful. You know, I've made videos on the Gs before. Let's go up this mountain. Let's get the lecky poles out, get the sweat flowing after I drink my coffee. For breakfast, I've bought a banana. And then we're going to go and see if I can't do a epic hike without pulling a muscle again like I did last time. So yeah, let's drive up the Angeles Crest. Let's find a beautiful trail. Let's hike for a couple of hours. Let's take some images and let's have a closer look at this Canon G9. If you're in the Los Angeles area, get up into those mountains. Don't just run the streets. The streets are disgusting. Homeless people, needles, horrendous. Get in the mountains or get on the beach. But if you go to the beach, homeless people, needles, horrendous. Up in the mountain, guess how many homeless people? 0! Get up there. It's wonderful. Let's go. I mean, look at that view. Just take it in. And yeah, the beginning of the hike, in the trees, by the water, by the stream. But as you venture out and as you get higher, start blowing out those lungs and just getting that exercise into those brittle bones of this pensioner, you start getting those views. And let me tell you, they're for free. And I get to capture that on a beautiful little early 2000s Canon G9. Pretty happy today, pretty stoked. I'm gonna head down to the waterfall, probably take a dip, and up this pace a little bit and see if I can't start sweating. Let's go. And there you can see that knife edge there. You see those guys? As they're coming down, and they're coming down that way, and you can see that that is a pretty far drop all the way down into the gully. These guys are just an indication of what that looks like. Pretty steep descent into that gully. And this is the penultimate turn, I think, as we head round to that last trail up here. The water's flowing quite fast now, so I'm down in the gully thinking that any second now I should hear the splashing of a waterfall. Oh, and I see a swing. What a beautiful spot, and I find it here all by my lonesome. I'm sure some people are gonna be behind me pretty soon, but to get this spot just north of Los Angeles on my own in the morning, I mean, I'm going for a swim, right? I got to swim in that. There's no way I'm not. Let's do it. It's pretty cold. When in Rome or Los Angeles, oh.
You don't care.
I don't care.
Okay. Ah.
That's what they say. I'm not sure.
right. That was cold. So what are my final thoughts, or thoughts generally, from this long-term review of this beautiful Canon G9? Now, the G range has been around for a minute. I've had a bunch of them. Of the bunch, the G9 is one of my favorites. It does not have an articulating screen, but the screen's certainly big enough for me to check focus, check the ISO's doing what it should be doing, and it's generally good enough for me. I really love the fact, absolutely love the fact, that we have just a standard straight-through viewfinder. You know, the problem with a lot of digital cameras today is they don't have those viewfinders. And I like to see what I'm dealing with sometimes old school, as if I'm using a 35mm beautiful camera. Now, this has that viewfinder, happy with that. A built-in flash. You guys, if you've never been out on a night out with your friends and used flash photography with a digital or a 35mm camera, wonderful. Love those paparazzi vibes. Built-in, beautiful. This has a zoom lens, and it's a pretty obnoxiously deep zoom lens, but again, crystal clear. Obviously, the higher or the further in you zoom, the higher those f-stops are going to be. You know, I mean, I think at standard it's like 2.8. That having been said, conditions like today, nice and sunny, I just stick it on f5.6, auto ISO, aperture priority, just to capture all those beautiful landscapes. Now, feel of the camera, wonderful. It has a hot shoe. I can stick an external flash if I want. The dials, which we see on Canon DSLRs are present as well, which I'm super happy with. It means I can adjust aperture priority, shutter priority. It has the scenes, basically 2 program modes. And then on the left there, you can see I can control my ISO as well, which is absolutely wonderful with a dial. Or I can go ahead and just put it in automatic and let it do what it wants to do. For hiking on the trail, for being out and about in these arduous conditions where I've fallen over a few times, great camera. $50 off eBay for me. Holds true to this day. The Canon G9 does not fail. I'm going to get back home, stick these images through Lightroom, see how much dynamic range those images have got. I don't expect too much, but I know those Canon colors are going to be beautiful. Let's head back. Let's have a closer look at the camera. Let's process those images and let's change these shorts because they're very wet and it's not very comfortable at all.
And this is the top of Mount Wilson. You can see right there is Los Angeles. Downtown LA is right there. Look at that view. 6,000 feet elevation.
Now, we're not quite on top of the world, but it certainly feels like it. Look at this 360 vista. Are you insane? There's the markings that shows that we're on the summit of Mount Wilson. Observatories. Easy little wander, little jaunt up here. But you can see the entire skyline of Los Angeles, which is pretty rough down there. It's pretty rough these days, but up here, air's crisp, views are beautiful, makes it all worth it. Not for nothing, this is very echoey, I'm sorry about the audio, but you can get up here for free. Look at this. So essentially, this is the museum at the summit of Mount Wilson. And Mount Wilson sits a mile above Los Angeles. You can hike up here, go in the museum and look at the history of observation of the universe. And if you consider Einstein was up here, 1904, that is one of the beautiful, huge observation towers. And there are a multitude of those up here. So you're able to come up, you're able to see these, to take tours, get out there, make some images, stretch your legs, and see these wonderful things for free.